This edition of Crime Reports and Rewards is brought to you by Dr. Louis Gangarosa's Orally for instant relief of sore mouth, teeth, and lips. www.oraleaf.com or call 706-294-4343. William Goolsby Heavy Equipment, land clearing, driveways, and landscaping. Call 803-257-6734. And All-American Training and Safety Consultants. Certified training in industrial, construction safety, personal protection equipment, fall and fire protection, respiratory protection, material handling and storage, electrical lockout tagouts, machinery and machine guarding, forklifts, cranes, and horse training. Call us at 706-799-1157. Call them and tell them you appreciate them bringing you one of America's fastest growing crime shows. The stories you are about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't.
Remember the guy with the foot fetish? Well, Columbia County may have a Yeti fetish. The white male you see on your screen is accused and suspected of stealing Yeti coolers from different locations around Columbia County. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office says the white male suspected thief you see on your screen stole a Yeti cooler from the boat center. He's also suspected of stealing Yeti coolers at the Ace Hardware and Gander Mountain. These premium heavy-duty coolers were also taken at other locations, and if you've had a Yeti cooler stolen around Columbia County, this may be your guy. Let's turn this Yeti cooler fetish thief into Columbia County's most wanted, because nobody needs a thief stealing what you need to have to keep your drinks cool in a hot fall. If you think you know who or where or how police may find this Yeti thief, please call the Columbia County Sheriff's Office at 706-541-2800. Captain Steve Morris will thank you very much, but if you want a cash reward, call Captain Steve Morris at 706-541-2800 and tell him that you're a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster. If a press release says a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster led to an arrest, you will be paid. Augusta Chronicles crime reporter Doug Stutzman reports that a vehicle was stolen from auto liquidators in Augusta on Gordon Highway. Imagine that, something being stolen from Gordon Highway. Who'd have thunk it? About 9 a.m., deputies responded to auto liquidators in the 1500 block of Gordon Highway, where employees arrived at work and found the business ransacked, according to an incident report from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say a suspect broke into the business by pushing in an air conditioning unit into the building and climbing through the window. Once inside, the suspect ransacked an office and found a pair of keys to a 2004 Mazda 6 valued at $5,500. The suspect drove the vehicle through a chain-link fence and fled. Officers attempted to lift fingerprints but were unsuccessful. Anyone with information can contact the Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1000. Following that story, we find the guy may have stopped off at a local car dealership before or after and stolen $3,000 worth of wheels, which were stolen. And we also found that the revolving door of our local legal system is whirling with wind coming off of it because evidence from a past assault case was allowed at trial. So here we have violent people assaulting citizens that are allowed to just walk back out on the street, and nobody's doing anything to stop that. And then they're in another trial. Imagine that. So Dichotomy responds to this Augusta Chronicle article, which we have placed on our Augusta Crime Reports and Rewards Facebook page, so you can go there and comment on this. And here's what Dichotomy says about this. Officers attempted to lift fingerprints but were unsuccessful. Dichotomy says, I see that statement on almost every break-in story. I'm guessing we don't have a real CSI team, do we? I'm guessing we are still in the era where the deputy goes to the trunk of his car and comes out with some laser printer toner powder, a shaving brush, and some scotch tape. You cannot tell me that our local crop of genius criminals are smart enough to not leave any prints. To which Fat Boy Hogg replied, this ain't TV. Sometimes certain services aren't conducive for lifting prints. Just because they were unsuccessful lifting any doesn't mean the criminal didn't leave any. Then I respond with, we agree, Dichotomy. With all due respect to Fat Boy Hogg, who deserves a great deal of respect because Fat Boy Hogg is a very respectful individual. Trust me, this guy is a great guy. We need either new equipment or new print lifters. Too many bad guys are being left to continue raping, robbing, and stealing. When I was your Crime Stopper, I received tips about bad guys living behind that place, so the suspect may likely have simply walked out of a place he was living back there, broke into the building, and drove off. If you know how this suspect may be found before this stolen car may be used to run a deputy down, like former Chief Owens, now at the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, almost suffered recently, please call the police. If a press release says a CrimeReportsAndRewards.com tip led to an arrest, you will be paid. The Augusta Chronicle's crime reporter Doug Stutzman reports drugs, knives, and other things were stolen in a home burglary. An Augusta man found his home ransacked and burglarized Saturday evening, police say. About 7:30 p.m., deputies responded to a home in the 200 block of Thompson Road. A 58-year-old man told them he arrived home and found the front window broken out, according to a Richmond County Sheriff's Office report. The man said the burglar had taken a bottle of Xanax, a bottle of Percocet, a DVD recorder, pocket knives, and watches. If you think you know how you can find this burglar, please call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1000. If you choose to remain anonymous, you can simply tell them you're a Crime Reports and Rewards reporter. If a press release says that a Crime Reports and Rewards reporter gave them a tip that led to an arrest, you will be paid. Augusta Chronicle crime reporter Doug Stutzman reports that $3,000 worth of wheels were taken from the Bobby Jones car dealership on Bobby Jones Expressway and Wrightsboro Road. According to a Richmond County incident report, deputies were called to the Bobby Jones Ford dealership in the 3400 block of Wrightsboro Road after an employee noticed the front of a 2015 Ford F-250 was being supported by cinder blocks. The employee said its two front wheels, valued at $3,000, were taken off the vehicle by an unknown suspect. Officials at the dealership said surveillance video might be available later. The suspect is wanted on felony charges of theft. In the comments section, which is always my favorite part of any part of the media, RMSHEFF, who I've never heard of before, he's got 3 points already though, said that the crime line is moving north. At least they left 2 cement blocks. Dichotomy responds with, "Time to deploy the snipers. Better headline. Dead man found on car lot apparently carrying cinder blocks." Dichotomy don't play. I think he's tired of all the crime, just like you and I are. If you want to comment on this segment, please go to our Facebook page, Crime Reports and Rewards, where this article is posted, and you can tell us what you think. In the meantime, if you know how this suspect may be found before these tires may be used to run a deputy down, like former Chief Owens, now with Columbia County Sheriff's Office, almost suffered recently, please call the police. If a press release says a CrimeReportsAndRewards.com tip led to an arrest, you will be paid. The Augusta Chronicle's Travis Highfield reports 2 are wanted in an Aiken stolen vehicle case. The Aiken Department of Public Safety is seeking assistance in locating 2 suspects who were accused of stealing an SUV last night. According to a police statement, 19-year-old Taryn Renee Doetry and an unknown white male are being sought after they were seen in a stolen Chevrolet Trailblazer on August 28 that had been reported missing a day earlier. If you think you know how police may find the stolen Chevrolet Trailblazer, or Taryn Renee Doetry, or the white male you see on your screen, please call the police. If they report that a CrimeReportsAndRewards.com tipster led to an arrest or the recovery of the Chevrolet Trailblazer, you will be paid. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding the black male you see on your screen. Christopher Jared Lewis is a suspect in an armed robbery. He's 19 years of age, 5'11" tall, weighs about 158 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. The case number on this matter is 15-335898. Christopher Lewis is wanted for an armed robbery that occurred in the 1600 block of Gordon Highway on 9/3/15. Lewis's last known address is 2802 Thomas Lane, Apartment D. Oh, no kidding. He pulled an armed robbery, maybe suspected of, pulled an armed robbery on Gordon Highway. Who'd have thunk it? Gee, I wish we knew a little bit more about that, but this is all we've got. Any information concerning this suspect, please contact investigator Jonathan Counts or any violent crimes investigator at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. If you call 706-821-1000 and say you're a Crime Reports and Rewards reporter, and a press release says that a Crime Reports and Rewards tip led to an arrest, you will be paid. This week after working hard all day trying to mow my dad's old place called Buford's Acre, which, after trying to mow it, I think is quite a bit bigger than an acre, I stopped off on Gordon Highway to grab a Little Caesars pizza for a helper and shot the Dollar Tree there to give Little Caesars plenty of time to cook a supreme pizza. Noticed while driving in, quite a crowd was standing all out in the middle of the road just wandering in and out of traffic as I pulled in. Parked the rig and walked over to Little Caesars, paid for the Supreme, walked over to Dollar Tree because the girl said it would take several minutes. Told her to take her time, I'll be shopping at Dollar Tree. Walked back to Dollar Tree and as usual was amazed at what they can sell you for just $1. After several minutes of being lost in dollar heaven, several of the kids that were playing in the highway came in, one much younger wearing a backpack. The girl wore her hair straight up in the air with a pink bow to make her pretty. And the guys all had dreadlocks and tried to look mean. They burst through the door, hollering and screaming, then began grabbing candy and stuffing the littlest one's backpack full of stolen items. I was waiting on the clerk, who was in the office, to come over and unlock the register so I could check out, so I had plenty of time to watch the kids steal a bunch of stuff. Finally, the clerk, who was very much like thieves, came out, looked at them stuffing the backpack full of stolen items, and just rolled her eyes. I mentioned that I had seen them stuffing their pockets and the backpack with stolen items, and she just shook her head. Since I was completely outnumbered by people who can get crazy over the littlest things, I just shut up and paid for my stuff. When I walked back to Little Caesars, I sat down and waited for my pizza, which was, I thought, being cooked, and by what it seemed to be some of the shoplifters' cousins. When the girl there finally got around to letting all the other customers pick their orders up that came in much later than I, she shoved the pizza at me. I quickly opened the box because they'd handed me the wrong pizza before and I wanted to make sure this one was a Supreme before I hit the door. One whole corner of the pizza didn't have any veggies at all and only one pepperoni. The veggies that were there may have been better cooked if I had cut them with my multi-knife and tossed them on myself. All the veggies were completely raw. When I dropped by the motor pool to give the workers the pizza, I really felt like apologizing for giving him free pizza. The moral of the story is, if American employers continue hiring nothing but one minority out of the several they could be hiring from, they're going to continue getting the same results. You have to wonder how much longer things can be sold for $1 when so much is shoplifted and their shopping carts stolen en masse. An earlier segment of Crime Report showed a picture of an entire case of colas being wheeled out of Kroger's on the bottom of a shopping cart because the clerk was a friend of the shoplifter. You have to wonder how much longer people will continue buying a pizza from Little Caesars when the Supreme's veggies are served up cold and raw. Can American culture survive political correctness, and if so, for how long? I pay brothers and sisters to do all sorts of things for me because these particular brothers and sisters are simply the best at what I'm paying them to do. Corporations may want to mix it up a little, so some will keep an eye on the others. And corporations need to make a profit, so making a profit is a good idea. If you see shoplifters, don't leave it to their cousins to report them because it's becoming obvious they just won't. By mixing your staff, you don't make it so easy for them to form alliances against you and gang up on you. Then they also won't be so easily able to steal or give bad service without anybody saying anything because they're all in it together. If you're thinking about stopping off at Little Caesars for a Supreme, you may want to stick around while they cook it to make sure the veggies just aren't thrown on top of a partially cooked pepperoni they had sitting around in the back. WJBF News Channel 6's Dion Guillory reports that a Sergeant 18 Eminu was shot in Atlanta Sunday morning while he was handing out free shoes at an Atlanta homeless shelter. Sergeant Eminu was shot by an unknown attacker. He served with me in the 878th Engineer Company, which is part of that group of heavy equipment operators I worked with over on Lake Olmsted for several years. His family says someone confronted him while he tried to give away shoes to the homeless and shot him several times. It's terrible that we've lost a great National Guardsman like Sergeant Eminu, but we've got to find his killer. Sergeant Eminu was in support of Operation Enduring Freedom in 2010, 2013, and 2014. His funeral was Wednesday in Lawrenceville outside of Atlanta. The killer is still on the loose. If you know who shot Sergeant 18 Eminu, please call the police. If a press release says that a Crime Reports and Rewards tip led to an arrest, you will be paid.
It's been almost 2 years since L.C. Burroughs' family has heard from him. September 26, 2013 was like any other day for the Jenkins County salvage yard owner. He drove into town, had breakfast before heading back home. After that, no one is sure what happened. According to Mr. Burroughs' family members, his truck was found on the property with the door wide open and the keys still in the ignition. His daughters believe something happened to him on his property the day he disappeared because people had been stealing car parts from his junkyard for years. There still aren't any answers, only more questions. The loved ones of L.C. Burroughs refuse to give up hope and pray that the community can give them some kind of closure. If you have any information about the disappearance of L.C. Burroughs, there's a $20,000 reward. Simply call the Jenkins County Sheriff's Department at 478-982-4211 or the Georgia Bureau of Investigation at 912-871-1121. You can remain anonymous and you will get paid.
North Charleston, South Carolina police have notified us that investigators say a man was hacked to death with what appeared to be a machete during a home invasion. North Charleston deputies said 3 men forced their way into the victim's home around 4 a.m. Saturday and started stabbing and hacking him. The attack continued outside where the victim's body was found. The 3 men ran away and authorities have not found them. They did not say if anything was taken from the home. Deputies say a relative of the victim and a baby were also at the home but were not harmed. The name of the victim has not been released. C-Jack replied on the internet, "This proves getting rid of guns solves nothing if sick animals want to kill and murder. They'll find something, and if the homeowner could have got a gun, he might have had a chance. You never know when the state faces you. Scary world we live in." To which we replied, "We can report suspicious characters such as the guy with the hockey mask sharpening his machete, or we can wait until he kicks in your door and violates you." Like, follow, and share Crime Reports and Rewards to get them off the street before they're in your home. If a press release says a crime report's tip led to an arrest and you are the tipster, you will be paid and may not be violated. Now that Crime Reports is being watched from here to Pakistan, we're going to be doing a lot more stories all over the United States. Lafayette police are searching for two men who beat up and robbed another man on Friday, August 14th at approximately 9:20 p.m. at the Kleiser Chevron gas station on East Gloria Switch Road in Lafayette. According to the victim, as he walked down the street, he noticed two black males following him, so he sat on a bench where he thought it was visible to the camera and the business. Police reports say the two black male suspects demanded money from the victim, then punched him repeatedly in the face and body. The video shows the two suspects reached into the victim's pockets and removed his wallet containing more than $500. Later, the two black males appeared to hit the man across the head with a gasoline nozzle. After the two black males left the scene, video shows him sitting on the stoop near the front door of the service station with blood dripping from his nose. Some big pieces of blood, the victim said. The victim was taken to a hospital with fractured teeth and bones. "I've never seen anything like that in my life. Never had any problem here," said Kurt Kleiser, who owned the station for the past 10 years. Kleiser first posted a clip of the security footage on Facebook, garnering hundreds of thousands of views. "It's amazingly fast and violent how quickly and hard they hit him, how they kicked him," Kleiser said. Kleiser and his customers described the store as being in a relatively safe neighborhood. "It's just appalling," said Crosby Richardson. "This is someplace I shop at often. It kind of makes you nervous in the stomach to think that can go on someplace, and you frequent it all the time," said Faye Patton. Police are looking for the first black male, who's described as a thin, black male with short hair, last seen wearing a blue shirt with black pants. The second suspect is described as a heavy-set black male with short hair, last seen wearing a black shirt with blue shorts. Remember, when seconds matter, help is only minutes away. If you don't defend yourself, no one else may be able to. Detectives are asking anyone with information to contact Lafayette Police or Crime Stoppers at 337-232-TIPS. That's 337-232-8477. If you contact the police and tell them you're a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster, and a press release is released in Augusta, Georgia, saying that a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster gave a tip that led to an arrest of any type here in this area, you will get paid.
This edition of Crime Reports and Rewards is brought to you by Dr. Louis Gangarosa's Orally, for instant relief of sore mouth, teeth, and lips. www.oraleaf.com or call 706-294-4343. William Goolsby Heavy Equipment, land clearing, driveways, and landscaping. Call 803-257-6734. And All-American Training and Safety Consultants. Certified training in industrial, construction safety, personal protection equipment, fall and fire protection, respiratory protection, material handling and storage, electrical lockout tagouts, machinery and machine guarding, forklifts, cranes, and hoist training. Call us at 706-799-1157. Call them and tell them you appreciate them bringing you one of America's fastest growing crime shows. Crime Reports and Rewards is brought to you by WBEK Channel 16. Crime Reports and Rewards is a production of Michael's Media. You've been watching Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't.